Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy. Thank you so much for being here, and a special welcome to my new subscribers. I hope you enjoy the Soulprint community. So it's August 1st. So we've kind of been waiting for August, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that we think is sort of going to happen in the month of August. So I'm going to do an overall, I guess, general reading for August, but I'm focusing in on Trump, Jack Smith, and Fani Willis, because I think that's where the bulk of the sort of action, if you will, is going to be in the next 31 days, I guess August has. So, again, thank you so much. Your support, the comments, the thumbs up, all of it is so appreciated. Also, the Friday pendulum reading went over really good, and thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. So I think what I'm going to do, particularly just over the next couple of months for sure, is I think I'm going to make Fridays sort of a mini pendulum readings. So, it's not going to go on for 30 or 35 minutes. I think I'm going to try to limit it to 12 or 15 minutes. So again, if you have questions, put them in the comment section below. And I know I missed some from last week, so I'll do what I can to round them up, and we'll do some yes/no pendulum questions on Friday. All right, here we go. We're looking at August, the entire month of August, and we're looking at Trump, Smith, and Willis. Should be interesting. Quick. Sorry, that's probably loud in your ear. All right. Okay, here we go. August for Trump, Smith, and Willis. August for Trump, Smith, and Willis. August for Trump, Smith, and Willis. Or Willis. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, thank you all for correcting me about Ivanka versus Ivana. I'll relook at that question on Friday. Here we go. All right. Not surprisingly, we're starting off with the Ten of Pentacles. Now, very often, pentacles mean, material things. Very often, money, assets, holdings, that kind of stuff. Today, it's raining indictments. That's what this card is representing. Now, I'm not sure if all of those indictments are coming after Trump. Certainly out of Georgia, you have, an indication that multiple people are going to be indicted when she finally announces. And so that's what we've got. August is going to certainly, it feels sort of like all of the month of August, but there's going to be a real focus on indictments coming down, legal matters, etc. It's important that we all take a deep breath and remember that, in particular, Smith and Willis are they are looking at the long-term effects. Okay, this isn't a sort of one and done thing for either of them, but they're taking the long view. Now, I could be wrong, because I think the documents case may also, I'm just not sure if there have actually been charges filed that would prevent Trump from running again. But it feels like that is part of the calculation in terms of, looking into the future, if you will. They're not just concerned about what happens in August or, in 6 months or 12 months. Remember that. As we know, this is my card, one of my cards for Trump, the greedy, greedy king. And not surprising, it's being followed by the Ace of Cups. So the greedy, greedy king is going to be experiencing a lot of intense, out of control emotions. And as such, you can expect a lot of outbursts, a lot of threat, a lot of calls to arm, which are not going to be answered. It's going to be an incredibly difficult and turbulent month for him because they're going to start coming at him almost like boomerangs, returning all the things that he did. All of that stuff is coming back at him, coming back at him. As many of you know, one of my very first videos was called Death by 1,000 Cuts. And this is where we're at now. We are at the slice, 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 slice. He's not going to handle it well. The Georgia indictments are going to be particularly interesting, fascinating, because there really are going to be many more people than Trump. There's going to be other government officials. I wish I could give you a list, but I cannot. But there's going to be other government officials that are dragged into this. And listen, not innocently, okay? But it's going to be very sort of far-reaching. It feels very much like it's going to be one of those, mic drop moments. Make no mistake, she's in it to win, and win she will. There's too much on the line. And part of the reason that she has been so careful and so cautious is because she realizes how much is on the line. And we all can tell how much is on the line by how many attempts Donald has made to try to block her and stop her. Throw her off the case, disregard everything the grand jury heard. I mean, this is absolute nonsense. But he's not going to stop. Frankly, neither is she. Part of what she's going to be dealing with is sort of the mercenary effect of things, right? The money. Now, it's not only money, it's documentation, it's paperwork, it's all of it. She has the evidence. Make no mistake. Despite all of that, she is going to present a very clear, concise, and balanced case. The indictment is going to be fascinating because it's going to be full of all kinds of details that we maybe thought about or questioned, but we didn't know. It's also going to be filled with people who we really hope are caught up in it for their own, illegal activity and misdeeds. Don't forget, she had 8 of the fake electors have flipped. So she's got a lot of evidence in a lot of areas. In some ways, her case is going to really wrap up the story of what went on and what was going on in a way that makes it just makes things really, really crystal clear. Okay. Now, her and Jack are not necessarily working like hand in glove, but they are very aware of what each other has. And they're making sure that they kind of don't step on each other's toes. But it feels very much like his evidence and her evidence sort of supports the other. And again, that's a good thing because you have confirmation on the confirmation, right? You can anticipate kind of a lot of emotional reactions and responses, particularly to her. So that's who I'm focused on right now. Um, Particularly to her, I think part of it is you're going to find that people who thought they were safe, people who were pretty sure they had escaped her clutches, are going to discover that they absolutely are not. They got caught. When that drops, when those indictments drop, you are going to see if we thought that Trump was unhinged in the last 2 years, particularly in the last, 6, 8 months, is nothing compared to what we're going to see. He is actually, it feels like for entertainment purposes only, feels like he is going to actually start exhibiting some significant mental health issues. And his behavior is going to become more unstable and more outlandish as he tries to escape what he's realizing he can't. When the lawyers get through assessing what is coming out of Georgia, Trump is going to feel more trapped than he already does. He has a way of sort of saying to himself, well, first of all, I know what I did, and I did it for the right reasons. And in his world, the right reasons are because he wanted to stay in office. That's all it took for him to think it was right. Anything that he does to get what he wants cannot be flawed. It cannot be faulted in his own mind. That's why the phone call with Zelensky was perfect. That's why everything he's ever done is perfect. He recently made a statement that, he doesn't make mistakes because he's smart and he thinks smart or something like that, which is just such a load of bullpucky. But anyways, so it looks like Fani Willis is going to, I kind of want to say kneecap him. Now, let's move on to Jack Smith. He has so many tools at his disposal. He has, because, see, the thing of Georgia is localized to the state of Georgia, where what Smith is looking at is much broader. It's sort of, federal, if you kind of look at it that way. So he has his fingers, I think, in more pies than we realize. But more, he has a skill set that is so superior to anything that Trump and his, mediocre lawyers are able to pull together. He cannot hold on to good lawyers because he puts them in positions of almost, putting them in a position where losing their law license is kind of more and more likely than not. And so he's not going to hang on to people who actually have the skill set to go after the caliber of Smith and his prosecution team. And make no mistake, he is ready, almost ready. He's definitely going, I think that if it doesn't drop like today and so far, we haven't heard anything, or yesterday, I guess, because I'm reading this on the 31st. You're seeing this on the Tuesday, the 1st. It's going to drop in August. And kind of, it's just going to be a little bit of a toss up if he drops his indictments prior to the week of August 7th through 14th, which is when Fani has asked for extra protection. She's asked the courts to sort of not schedule anything. But either way, it very, very much feels like Trump is getting hit with both of the big guns this month. You know, Smith is used to dealing with people who, on a basic and fundamental level, are so corrupt that they become evil. I mean, listen, he's not out there at The Hague, you know, um, you know, dealing with parking ticket cases, okay? This is big, big, serious stuff that he is used to dealing with. And so this defendant, it doesn't really prove such a big, insurmountable challenge for him. This is a caliber of people he is used to dealing with. He understands their sort of psychological makeup, in many cases, far better than they themselves do. Be assured that there is not going to be a way for Trump to escape this. Sorry if you can hear out the sparking. He just has a lot to say this morning. We're just going to ignore him. I also think that this could very, very well represent Trump actually losing a few more attorneys along the way, and he's having a very hard time replacing them because he doesn't pay people. He's a lousy client. He doesn't listen to what they say, and most importantly, he tries to maneuver them into doing things that jeopardize their own livelihood and career. Hold on a sec. Sure about that. All right. The Smith indictments are going to expose it all. It's just that simple. And the reality is, it is all going to flow in Smith's favor. And you know what? This is the thing. It's not Smith's favor. It is in the favor of the United States of America. Okay? He is the master, craftsman. But there's going to be so much that comes out. And when those indictments drop, Trump's actually going to realize just how much trouble he is in. Because Georgia and, DC are going to happen in fairly close proximity to each other. And so it's going to be like a double, sucker punch for him. And he's actually going to start tuning in to the fact that he's in real trouble. He's also really mindful of the fact because he worked so hard to try to get Fani dropped from the court, and he tried to get it moved into federal court. He tried everything he could. Um, he's going to realize that he doesn't have a lot of way out. As these cases roll forward, you're going to see things moving very, very quickly. And for Donald, it's going to feel particularly chaotic, very stressful, sort of like things are spiraling out of control. And honestly, they kind of are, right? He's gotten away with this since, what is that? October, November, December of 2020 to this day. But that's coming to a stop. He's going to try to continue to get it out there that, he's innocent, this is a witch house hunt, et cetera, et cetera. And all except those very, very few who are so immersed in the cult of Trump that they don't get any other news from any other source. Those are the only people who are still going to be around who believe he's innocent. Everybody else is going to start to hear things that they weren't expecting to hear. They haven't been paying attention. They weren't expecting to hear, and now they're hearing it. And Trump is going to keep trying to maintain his innocence and how perfect he is and how smart he is. But what people are going to be seeing does not reflect that immature and juvenile attitude. I mean, literally, he is like the kid with cookie crumbs all over his face and his hands behind his back with a smooshed up cookie saying, I didn't eat the cookie, I didn't eat the cookie, I didn't eat the cookie. This is where Trump ends up. He is going to find himself more and more out in the cold. He's going to find that more and more circles are going to start separating from him. There are still some investors that are hanging on. You can expect more of them to dissipate and drop as the details come out. And I think this is one of the things that we sort of haven't, taken into calculation. We sort of think that, listen, we know all of this stuff. It's been going on in plain sight for years. What else could we possibly find out? Well, you know what? We found what else we could possibly find out when he dropped the indictments with regards to the document case. And this one is not going to be any different. So there you come to that place where people have been sort of giving Trump the benefit of the doubt, or they've been waiting to see how things unfold. Well, they're unfolding now. And more, he's going to find himself more and more isolated. And it is only going to be the people who are so immersed in the cult or are frightened to sort of go against him. And this includes his sort of inner circle of people. But other than that, he's going to, again, start losing credibility. I don't know if you all have heard, but over the weekend he announced that there was going to be a new fundraising effort because he now needs to raise funds for all of his aides and employees who are now facing legal challenges. Now, one has to wonder if, 10% of that is going to go to the aides and the rest of it is going to go to Trump. I suspect that's probably accurate. I don't know. But certainly it's what he does with everything else. But this new fundraiser thing is kind of, it's just so telling and it's so typical of him. This seems to be the end of the road for him. It really, really does. He's going to be so defensive. He's going to be so, I can handle this. I mean, I can't wait to testify because it's going to be so much fun. Are you nuts? And we know he's not going to, right? We know this is just bravado, and it's bravado directed specifically at his small time donors to keep on giving and keep on giving. He's done for. Now, yeah, there's going to be people. There's going to be people that he loses from that inner circle of support. That actually is going to really crush him. I guess there's a few people that either he isn't objectively seeing, or he just doesn't think that it would be so bad. This is where he ends. This is where he ends. Now, there's a warning here that, again, we could experience, or he could experience, some health issues or concerns. Can't tell you what kind, and I can't tell you when, but definitely everything that's going to happen in the month of August is going to take a significant toll on his mental and physical health. So there we have it. I think for a lot of us, the month of August is going to be, fascinating. It's going to be sort of long awaited. But for him and the other people who get wrapped up in this, it's not going to be so pleasant, because what they're going to discover is that there was no rock that didn't get looked under. The evidence in both cases is going to be flat out overwhelming. Just overwhelming. Okay, that's what I know today. For the rest of you, have a happy August. I think it's going to be a great month. I think, we're going to want to make sure we have popcorn handy. I think some of us are going to be in kind of a celebratory mood. Now, understand this is the indictment, okay? We at this point don't know how long it's going to take for these things to go through the court system. But I certainly feel as if the intention in both cases is to get this thing through the court system as quickly as possible, knowing that he is going to have his attorneys creating delay after delay after delay. But certainly the intention is to move them forward. And again, in some cases, the support is going to drop significantly to a place where he's really in or on unsteady ground. And you can anticipate his loyal Republicans doing backflips, trying to defend him. Okay. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to put your pendulum questions in the comment section below. And I will see you over the course of this week with some mini readings. Until then, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.